Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back. Everybody missed us. We know. We actually decided to be really generous this week. And we
Mm-hmm.
decided to answer all of the fans' questions.
All our fans.
I know you got. What should we call them? The Kate Posse and Alexia Angeloner-ators?
No, Angelonis.
Loners and
Angeloners.
the Posse. um, I have a special story this week that I wanted to just fucking say on a podcast or like say in a public space because I need to really clear my mind of what has happened to me right now.
Was what you posted on your story a sneak peek?
Sneak peek, yeah. I'll give like a full context. Basically someone on my college campus decided to get corona. Unfortunately for me, it was across the hall. So I had this little moment where it felt like, the moment when the news that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide broke.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was literally like going crazy. Like that's a moment where I feel like I felt this total disconnect. I was like, oh, literally nothing is real. Like everybody's lying to me all the time. And I had these moments because someone in my hall like put up a sign and they were like, someone in the hall across from us got corona. So like fucking call health services, like be cautious, like blah 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 blah. And I heard health services come into my hall and take the note down. Like I went back out in the hall and the note was down.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't sent out an email about like anything yet. They hadn't like said anything. So in my head, when I hear one COVID case, I obviously hear like a fucking cluster.
Mm-hmm.
And so we literally had no information about this. Like they weren't saying anything,
Yeah.
and they had come in and removed that paper. And
Mm-hmm.
I put up one, and I was like, "Someone removes that paper, but there's fucking COVID, so be careful." And it got removed as well. But whatever. So I had this like freak out moment where I was like, I literally need to get out of here because I just hate the idea that I can't control my environment, if that makes sense. Like, I don't like the idea that my school could kick me out at any fucking second because other people are being irresponsible. Like, honestly, if it was up to me, I wouldn't be on a college campus. Like, I'm not gleaning a lot from the campus.
No, I feel.
So I called my one friend Maisie. We love Maisie here. And I was just like, hey, Maisie, how would you feel about getting an apartment with me even though you've known me for like a month? She was like, sounds good. Let's look for one. And so we started looking for an apartment and we found this house. And this house was like a town over. It was like 20 minutes away from our college. And this house is fucking perfect.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, I have this like little voice where it was like, this is too good to be true, but I had no like reason to think that.
Yeah.
On apartments.com, like 3 bedrooms, like fully furnished. It was a genuine fucking cottage on like an acre of land. It had its own like apple trees and shit.
What the fuck?
It just looked like a cabin, or like it just looked so cute.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started talking to the guy who had his contact information on apartments.com. And I was like, hey, I like tried calling him a few times and he didn't pick up. And then he texted me and he was like, hey, my name's like Reverend Howard. Like, are you calling about my California property? And I was like, no. And so we started talking about the Massachusetts one and he was being kind of vague. And I was like, okay, well, can I come see it? And he was like, um, you can like drive and look through the windows. But unfortunately, my wife and I are in New York City right now because we're about to go on a mission.
Okay. Reverend.
Yeah, so he's like, I was trying to sell this shit, but now I'm just throwing it on the market because we're about to leave. And I was like, I guess that makes sense. Like in my head, I was kind of comforted by the idea of being like buying something from someone who was religious because I was like, oh, he like money isn't his number one priority.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, that kind of like lines up well for me. and we're talking the entire day, and I'm just like, it's kind of fishy that I can't enter the house. Like, there's no way I'm like making any sort of purchase without entering the premises. So I call him a couple times and I leave a voicemail. I'm like, hey, like, is there any way you could get the keys to me before we made our first payment? Because we're obviously super interested. I just need to make sure the fucking plumbing works, you know? Like, I just need to get in there and make sure nobody else lives there. And then we're all good and I'll pay you. And he sent this text with like a bunch of information. He was like, oh, like, fill this all out. And it was kind of just like, it was a little sketchy. And the information he sent me had an address for a house in California. Um, and then I tried calling him a few other times and I realized that when it like beeped for his voicemail that it said it was a text now number. I don't know if you know what that is. It's a fucking texting app that I used to use when I had an iPod because I didn't have like an iMessage or like I didn't have a phone number.
Wait, question. Um, did you like look up the property on like Google Images or Maps or something?
Yeah, so I made sure I looked at the property in California even that he mentioned, and it had like two images. But I looked at the house in Massachusetts that he was claiming to own, and it was bought off the market like 9 years ago. And the Google images, there were more in the apartments.com listing that I like.
But it was like the same house.
Yeah, it was like the same house, and the like estimated monthly rent was around the same. So I was like, I feel like you wouldn't rip me off.
Yeah.
Such a low amount of money and the information he was asking me, he didn't ask me for fucking anything like no like account statements or like social security number, nothing like that. And I obviously didn't reply to that because I'm suspicious. And so the next day I just text him, I'm like, hey, like we need to go into this house before doing anything, like sorry but it just needs to happen. And he texted me this morning, he's like, hey, this is Reverend Howard, like you're interested in the California property. And I was like,
This is like a scary movie.
I know, I was literally like, oh God. I can't believe I had my hopes up either because I knew in my heart of hearts that it was a scam,
Mm-hmm.
but I was just so disappointed hearing that because the house is literally so cheap as well. Um, so that was a little bit clickbait of me. I didn't really get scammed because I'm vigilant, but I could have
It could have turned into a scam too quick.
right. And then I observed the photos a little more intensely because I was just like, there's something here that I was missing upon my first like look through. And I realized that the like rooms that you saw through the doors in the pictures were different. Like the kitchen was different through one of the doors than the picture of the kitchen. I don't know. Anyways, that's like underwhelming, but I literally was like spending a whole day like trying to figure out if this guy was scamming me or if I was about to get the like greatest deal of my life. So yeah,
Crazy.
unfortunately a scam.
Scam.
But I'm still on the hunt, but it wasn't meant to be obviously because it wasn't real.
Plus, I feel like a house, like you can't get a cheap house. Like,
Well, the thing is though, it's in a lower income like city. It's not in the city I go to school in. It's in like a surrounding city. And I was talking to Ben about it, and he was like, "This is a believable price just because of like the area and how."
oh, okay.
I was just like, "Okay, I'll take your word for it." But it like I think it was like 1,300 a month,
Okay.
and for like someone, I don't know. I also had this impression that since he said he was a reverend, which is just something he could say to scam me.
Yeah.
I the impression I have of religious people who are landlords as well is that they don't like penny and dime you that much, you know, because they actually have like a moral code.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Anyways, how have you been? I
Great.
haven't heard from you.
Scams from me. Um. Yeah. That's that. It might be a DJ soon.
I have a few questions that I wrote down. We got our adoring fans to ask us some questions via the app. You might have heard of it. It's Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And
On the rise.
should I just kind of like rapid fire them off?
Yeah, let's do it.
I have some good ones. I feel like you might even be able to tell who asked these questions,
Okay.
like from the questions. So the first one is, what is your favorite part of your own face?
Uh,
Answer and then I'll answer.
um, I like my cheekbones, I guess,
You do have good cheekbones.
but yeah, that's it. What about you?
I think mm, just one.
Come on.
I probably like my I think I like my like teeth. I
Okay.
don't know if that's like I don't know, like it's like part of my skull. It's like kind of gross. I'm gonna change that answer into I think it's my eyes.
Yay! Your teeth.
My I love my teeth.
We're gonna be on this planet for like
I think they work
3 times.
so hard.
Uh,
Where would I be without them? Just not fed well at all.
creepy that your teeth are part of your exposed skull.
Ew, dude.
Like, you can see my skull right now. Like when I'm a
Don't 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 act like your skull is naked right now. I really
I'm exposing part of my skull.
stop saying exposed. I'm literally so grossed out right now. Something about that really got to me.
You peel back the rest of my skin, my teeth
Oh,
will be the same teeth that you see right now.
you wait. I shouldn't do that on camera. Don't lie.
Okay.
Everybody who's watching, close your eyes. Hey, Kate, you know that one thing you showed me?
This thing?
Yeah, Kate showed me this really cool thing one time when we were in the car with Alyssa, and it literally dying laughing. And the thing is, Alyssa was on the phone with her mom, so it felt like we were like two little kids who were to their laugh while our mom was like talking to someone, because we were just like sitting in the car like.
Yeah.
I think about that. I think about.
Are we gonna explain to them what it is?
Oh yeah, it's you go like this. It's like a little silhouette moment. You pull your bottom and top lip up and out, and then
And out.
you get a little tongue wiggle. And then you show me the one like this.
Yeah.
You. I remember I showed this to Ben, and he like called over his head. He's like, "Yo, look at this." I had to like do it.
Girl,
I was like standing.
I'm dead. That's hilarious.
The fact that you introduced that into my life like made that scenario possible, which blessing or curse, the fans will decide.
Well, you introduced me to music. I introduced you to that.
I introduced you to fucking what? I don't know what music I've introducced you to.
Patrick Watson.
Patrick Watson.
Yeah.
That's literally it. You know, I started learning Je te la de mots today on the guitar.
Okay.
And okay, theory. The listeners who don't know this song, first of all, go bless your ears. Go literally one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life. If someone asked me my like favorite song of all time, it's probably what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
By Patrick Watson. I'm not gonna butcher the name again, it's French. But I started learning on the guitar and I realized this guy has fucking huge hands because finger picking was like 6 tabs apart and he would like switch it and it was like it was like 4, like 9, 10, and I'm like I had to go over. I don't know if that's I don't know if you've ever done that, but I had to go over so I could like spread my hand apart.
Over what?
Over this side of the guitar rather than holding it regularly like this. Like I couldn't do it. I had to like.
No, that's all wrong.
It made the noise. And that's.
Don't do it again though. It's bad for your hands.
But mark my words, one day I'll be able to play it one way or another. But this guy has huge hands. Like the guitar and the piano chords that he plays are all like, you literally can't play them unless you have huge fucking.
Do you have big hands? I can't remember.
I have big hands. I have big
I
hands.
think we have the same hands.
No, your probably, wait, maybe. I think we have like similar proportions. Not really, but like kind of.
I just have big hands. That's why everyone's like, you'd be good at piano. And I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, I've gotten that, but I've also gotten, why do you have man hands? I've also been told that my sons will be nice and strong and that I probably have a lot of testosterone.
Okay.
So,
What a compliment. My favorite thing about me is my testosterone.
yeah, you can tell I have a lot of testosterone from the fact that I have these big.
Manners.
Okay, our next question is what annoys you when other people do it but you catch yourself doing it?
Talking shit.
True. I
Um,
yeah, actually.
I'm the worst. I'm always like, why do they have to talk shit? And then I'm sitting
Like I'm like I can't believe like this person believe it.
yeah, and then I'm like, can I not? I'm trying to think of another example.
There's situations where I feel like my brain is like, well, I'm talking to Kate. Like,
Where I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. But that's still spreading this negative ass energy. So
but it always matters. I I guess some something that annoys me that I notice other people doing. I had an example yesterday where I was sitting on the bus and I was like, you know how sometimes the bus seats you'll be sitting forward and the person in front of you will be sitting like with their side to you, you know, so you can like, you're like watching them as if you're at a fucking movie theater. And I was on the bus and I sat there at this seat where I was watching this guy and he's like listening to his music in his AirPods and he has this like big Hollister jacket and he has like that soccer boy haircut.
mm-hmm.
He like had this energy where he was looking around the bus and he was kind of just like
Being sleepy.
kind of no, he was just like he wasn't being shady at all. It was just like him looking around the bus as it kind of like wistfully.
He's the main character.
I know. I literally in my head, I was like, this guy thinks he's the main character right now. And I was like, I literally got annoyed. I was like, stop it.
Stop it.
He stood up in a flourish, and I was like, sit the fuck down. Like, do that again. Like, get some humbleness in your bones. I was literally I got so annoyed, and then I realized like as I stood up, I was like,
I'm my own main character. No, I do it too.
there's only room for fucking 5 billion main characters, so get lost. So that's something I think or that and interrupting people. It's like I really don't realize how much I do it until I like listen back to these fucking podcasts because I don't mean to do it. Like I just get
I feel
too.
like there's also a delay.
Uh,
I feel like there's also a delay.
true.
Mm.
Um, the next question, this one's really good. What's your regular ice cream order? At you know where?
Mm, I would say me first.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can
Walnut with rainbow.
maple walnut rainbow sprinkles. What size?
Small or medium.
I take a fucking pint if nobody's looking. No, I'm kidding.
Yep.
I stop. That gave me flashbacks to my dream.
I got this is what I got my soup in, but they use the same pint containers that we do. So
I literally saw that and I just thought you were just eating it, and I was like, I bet they extended more. My reg is probably when I get into a shift and I'm really hungry. Sometimes I scoop in banana ice cream and I have peanut butter sauce on top of it. You can get to a real meal with ice cream. But if I'm just there like for my own pleasure, I usually do sweet cream with Reese's cups. Reese's cups mixed in because I'm fucking basic and it's delicious and sweet cream's the best flavor for mix-ins. Anyone who fucking mixes in with a flavor that already has shit in it, disgusting. Fucking disgusting.
Banana.
Huh?
So you went mix in with banana?
No. When I say has shit in it, I mean like chunks. Like if you're mixing like peanut butter cups into like the s'mores. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, now like you're like fucking towing the line there.
No, I agree.
My next question, or the lovely adoring fans' next question is, do you support the simulation theory?
Um, um,
I'll get my blinky too.
I don't know enough about it. I haven't looked into it enough.
I feel like a lot of theories are kind of just like, I choose not to worry beyond my own planet currently because I just don't think I can take it. Um,
To be honest, I don't think I really believe in a lot of conspiracy theories too. Like the Mandela effect, I don't really believe
oh, Mandela effect is like the most entry level conspiracy theory. I feel
in.
like the things I believe in aren't conspiracy theories because they're genuinely backed up by facts
Yeah.
and patterns that have been recognized
Is
throughout.
the simulation theory a conspiracy theory though?
Huh?
Wait, what? Is the simulation theory a conspiracy theory?
Yeah, it's definitely a conspiracy theory because
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
I think simulation theory kind of attributes this techiness to the like the question of like why we're all here that I think is kind of gross. You know, it's like you if there is some higher deity or higher deities or anything that's controlling whatever we're living in, I don't like the idea that they're doing it using like fucking technology.
I know.
I just want to say they're point blank using like magic or something. You know,
Yeah,
just it leaves too many things out in the open to be like, oh, it's a simulation, and it's like I'm not living in a Sims game. Like if anything is above me right now, it's magic,
yeah.
and that kind of like segues into one of the questions we got a few times, which was, is God real? Do we believe in it? Why did we kill God? Just a few light topics. Uh, your
Go into those.
Yeah, I have a strong
Okay,
that I've been parroting for years.
okay.
Um,
You want me to start?
yeah, it is.
Okay. So this is my. I think this is my take because I am lazy and I don't want to make people believe one thing. And I don't know if that means I'm lazy. I don't know. I'll just explain it and then I'll talk about it. So I think that whatever you think happens, happens. I think that our like unconscious mind or our conscious spirits are powerful enough to do whatever you hope they do and whatever you manifest that they'll do. So like if you think that there's a fucking heaven, like when you die, you're gonna go there. That's what puts your spirit at ease. And for me personally, I don't believe in a God, and I think it just for me, I think that just kind of um, it's like it's just a form of like escapism. Like it lets
Yeah,
people.
no, it's well, religion is sorry to like cut you off, but
No, you're good.
that's such a great point though, because religion is uh like a stage in civilization
Hmm.
comes when you need to like kind of like how do I say cater to the spirits of your people or to the aesthetics and kind of like encourage and like foster them.
Yeah.
uh, so I feel like that's really true, and that's not anything negative as well. But
Yeah.
we just have different ways of coping. I feel like
Yeah. And I feel like
yeah,
it's just like people created it to blame problems or certain things happening to blame it on something or to get people to shut up about it. Be like, this happens for a reason, like God wanted this to happen or blah 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 blah. So that's kind of why I don't really at least like I don't really like Christianity and like
is
that.
there any religion that you appreciate or kind of understand more than you?
Yeah, so like I don't know, I personally don't like Christianity. I like read into like teachings of like Buddhism and stuff, and I find that kind of is more what I think I believe in. But I I also think religion is a super like interesting thing, and even though I'm like kind of contrary to myself by like saying this, like I think that it's really cool that people are passionate about it and all this stuff. I mean, it's just when
Anything to get people to be sincere.
and like just to if it like puts if it gives people good moral codes and guidelines to follow, fuck it. But I don't know. I think religion's a really cool thing, and I think what comes out of it is really interesting and says a lot about people. But it's I don't know if organized religion is for me. But yeah, what about you? Because
Well,
kind of
religion, you saying that kind of makes me realize that, at least for me, religion feels like an external way of getting inspiration and hope, which is interesting because I feel like people who gravitate more towards spirituality or religions that aren't as focused on a higher deity that's going to decide your um, every action, I feel like that comes from the fact that they've kind of like asserted themselves by having their like own set of rules to abide by,
mm-hmm.
seek out another one. But I will say that's just me like riffing, because the way I really see it is I'm the type of person where I will never say I don't believe in something, because I don't want to I'm like paranoid enough um, that I don't want to end up in a situation where I'm on Earth saying like, oh shit, like I don't believe in this and this and this and this, and then fucking the trapdoor evaporates between my feet and I'm in fucking heaven. Like I'm arguing my case. Like I don't want to be in that situation where I come to a sudden realization that something
Yeah.
big is going on and that I was like denying it. So I'm never going to say that like ghosts don't exist, because I don't want to get proven wrong. Like
That's a good point.
I don't want that weighing on my mind because I'm paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
In reality, I've never really found comfort in religion, and I think that's because of, and maybe you'll relate to this, but like growing up in sort of a religious environment kind of formed this idea in my head that like the people around me who I didn't really like respect and align with believed something, and so me not respecting and aligning with them leaked into me not respecting and aligning with their religion.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what happened to me too.
And I've kind of come full circle where I really understand, and especially as like an artist, sorry to like be cringe, but as an artist, I think I really respect and understand or I just really respect. I don't understand like what religious people are going for and what it means to be religious. And
Yeah.
I respect it. And I wish I believed in God, because I think it would be nice to have something like that to like hold myself and call me higher. But unfortunately, I don't really feel that in myself. But I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to some religious awakening. That being said, I'm curious as to you talking a bit more about Buddhism, because I talked about Buddhism the other day, interestingly enough, and I was thinking about my kind of like opinion of people who convert to Buddhism in
Mm-hmm.
the 20s, like white, like Soul Cycle types,
Yeah.
kind of convert to Buddhism as more of an aesthetic thing, and like what your opinion is on people who aren't surrounded by a religion converting to a religion later, and like
Yeah, I mean I've thought about that a lot and it kind of like I don't know if I could ever call myself like a Buddhist because I feel like
no, but it's I understand what you're saying.
you know what I mean? Like no,
You.
yeah. And well just saying like even in like the future, I don't know if I would ever want to call myself a Buddhist unless I was
Fucking going to temples.
and unless I really like decided to like push myself into that culture and
Right.
probably not be here. Or at least like I don't know. It's if I had like a partner or something that was Buddhist, maybe then that would be something else. But because I'm not actively like going to the temple and doing all this stuff, like I think it's more of like I
Well, Buddhism's very reasonable.
I like what they say.
Yeah.
I like what they believe. I like the morals. I like everything about it, that the general, like the Eightfold Path, like all this stuff, like I like seeing that as like my moral, like,
Yeah, like a guideline.
my guide, instead of like where coming from like a Christian family, like I was told like, oh, if I do something wrong, like, that's a sin, like I need to be forgiven of my sins, or I'm literally going into the depths of hell. I'm gonna burn like in hell forever. And like that's a terrible way to raise people and tell people how to live their lives. Like it's like you're gonna be punished for every mistake you make. What the fuck? So
Right.
yeah.
Right.
I know, I hate the idea of sin. Every time I hear that word, it makes me boil with anger. I think it's the worst thing that you can do to someone is literally tell them that they're doomed unless they profess.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of like, I think that's really interesting because I've noticed in myself, especially within the last year, how much of like the things sometimes I get complimented on something and I realize that the reason I have XYZ characteristic is because I was raised around so many fucking Mormons,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like permeated into me. And this was totally willing. Like I wanted to be Mormon when I was a kid. Just my family wasn't, and it was like not something that was possible for me.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be a Mormon to fit in. Like that's what I wanted because everyone around me had this belief system. And when you're a kid, you want to fit in. That's normal.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of like I realized it's kind of been like hibernating in my brain all of these Mormon ideas almost,
Mm-hmm.
where I have these ideas of like judgment, or it's definitely the more like negative attributes where when I like mess up something I feel so like shameful, or I feel very ashamed about things that I feel like I already should have grown past, you know. I just feel kind of like stunted in some ways because of it.
Yeah.
But that could just be me attributing it to something that doesn't deserve it. But I think that's a good point. Like, imagine being a kid and being told when you fucking mess up that you're like sinning and you're going to fucking burn in hell, and that your thoughts that occur to you naturally are unnatural.
It's, I don't know, maybe I
There's
just
definitely
think,
upsides to it, obviously, but just to like touch on the negative.
yeah.
But then the upsides, fucking religion has produced some of the most like beautiful buildings and art. It is proved to be like one of the best inspirations uh, ever. In fact, I think if I ever became a like serious painter, studying on like real, hyper realistic things, as if I ever could, I would depict like religious events.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like what that type of high art was meant for.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, like the music and like churches are so cool. Like I was watching this YouTube video about like pipe organs.
Mhm.
And
Wait,
like,
yeah, I think I've seen those.
what'd you say?
I think I've seen those.
Yeah, it's literally like I don't know. He was just talking. There was like a question. It was like, why do pipe organs sound scary or something? But then I started researching more into them, and it's just like so cool. And we're talking about chords in my music theory class, and we're talking about like the amen chord,
Mhm.
like 4/1, for any of you music fiends. Um, obviously. But I don't know. I just like I love like it just I think it was like I don't know, being in church is such a cool feeling. Like even though I don't like it, like I always just felt like I was like
Like,
so
there's something beautiful about it still.
yeah, I don't know, somewhere like so peaceful and so like transformative and like in my own town, which is like I don't know. I love being in the church, but I don't like anything about it stands for.
Well, and I would like to also state, like, personally, if anybody's fucking listening to this who is religious, um, obviously everything we're saying is our own opinions and we fucking respect every religion.
Totally.
Not every religion, but most.
Yeah.
And what it has contributed to society, which has been like some of the greatest people, some of the greatest works, and some of the greatest buildings, and some of the greatest ideas that I actually do agree with.
Yeah.
Problem is that I have trouble signing up for something if I don't agree with every single part of it.
Exactly. I feel that too.
I have trouble committing to myself to something if I don't completely believe it. And I feel like the reason a lot of religions have amassed like very large followings is because there's people who don't truly believe in everything. And they believe in part of it, which I think is fine. But if that was the case, then I guess I would be religious in one way or another. But I just don't feel correct in doing that.
I also feel like religion is just like it's something that you're meant to like. I feel like I don't know, get into is not the right word, but like you're supposed to figure out as you're like. I don't think it's meant for like younger kids.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree because I remember when I was a kid in like third grade, so 8 years old, this girl was like, "Oh, are you Mormon?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "Oh, so you're adopted?" And I was like, "No, I mean, I don't think so, but now that you ask, like,
Yeah.
I guess it's totally possible." Um, but it was this idea that like I felt like I had fallen behind. And so when I started answering those questions where people would be like, "Oh, are you religious?" I'd be like, "Oh, like I'm taking my time to decide if it's really for me, but I'm leaning towards this to like kind of like maintain where I was without like upsetting anyone, I guess." And I think that should have been a path. Like they were always like, "Oh, that's so cool." And I was like, you should be allowed to do that though. Like you should be allowed to kind of float through and decide what's correct for you. But I think there is something valuable in raising kids with a religious, like moral code sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too, but I think it's also like at a certain point, like you shouldn't like condemn them or like shame them for not wanting to take part in
Mhm.
organized religion because obviously in your teenage years you grow and you learn stuff, and I think it's something that I want to like come back to
Mhm.
in like 10 years or something because
Right. Yeah, it's worth revisiting.
I think now I'm growing and thinking a lot, and I don't know myself, and I'm not going to know myself in 10 years probably, but like it's something that I think I need a deeper sense of understanding and like a few more years on this earth to really like
Right.
take advantage of religion. And obviously, this is all like also coming from like everything we're saying is coming from like a place of like privilege from being in like a country
Yeah.
where we don't have to like we don't have to whatever take part in a religion if we don't want to. We can take part in whatever religion we want to if we do. And I think
Right.
it's also
Religious
hard to
freedom.
that.
Right. I've absolutely reveled, especially moving to the East Coast. That was such a big weight off my shoulders in a weird way, where I do enjoy and revel in some of the like values that I was taught growing up in a religious environment. And I do see the benefit in it, but I do believe that everything should be done in moderation. And I don't feel like it's done in moderation. And when things aren't done in moderation, when people are extremists, in my head, a little zinger, like a little boop boop goes off, and I have a suspicion that people are lying to themselves, and that feels sinister. But I don't know anything. But coming to the East Coast and like having that weight off my shoulders, where I was like, oh, like I have like a fighting chance here, you know, like I actually can fit into whatever I fit into and it doesn't matter. And it really did matter in
Yeah.
fucking Utah. Like it actually did. Um, and it was always this a disconnect that I really resented. And then I realized when I came here, all these thoughts that I had as a kid where I was like, maybe I'll be Mormon when I'm older. I've never revisited that. Like I've never had the instinct on my own past that.
Yeah.
So I think everyone should experience culture shock. And I think everyone should be allowed to like switch lanes
Yeah.
do later in life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that, I guess.
Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed
um, what's I get the next question is what are some songs we never skip?
it. You never skip. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I like this one. Um, Kicker by Alex G.
Mhm.
Melody Noir by Patrick Walton. Um, Mayonnaise by the Smashing Pumpkins.
Amen.
What about you?
I also would never skip a Patrick Watson song. I was, I just, I love Patrick Watson.
There was.
I also have this song that I really enjoy and gets stuck in my head pretty frequently, like at least a couple times a year, and it's called Take Care by the Magic Gang. I think I sent it to you or I've shown it to you at some point.
Okay.
It's one of those songs that just like, I never skip songs that immediately make me like dance. No matter.
Yeah.
So that also goes for Killing Me Softly by the Fugees.
I was, oh my God, wait, story about that really quick. I was on Halloween, yeah, on Halloween night, I was in my dorm, like, I was going to the bathroom, I was with a group of girls, and we were, like, getting ready to go out to, like, get some food, and we were all drunk, but this guy comes down the stairs, and I'm playing Killing Me Softly on my phone, he comes down, he goes, I love this song, and he's like, strumming my pain with this thing, and I'm like, and we're all like, oh, okay, he's like, I love the Fugees, and he just starts like dancing in the middle of our hall, and we were like having like a riff off like with the same song. It was so fucking funny. And
That's so
like, what's
cute.
your name? And he was like, Evan or whatever it was. We were like, okay, Evan. And he just was like so drunk. It was so funny.
Right. That's the type of song where you hear it and you're like,
Yeah, and you're like, hey, yeah. Yeah.
But that Killing Me Softly, and with that one I'll say Bitter with the Sweet.
Yes, I added it to my playlist because of you.
Delicious song. Empire, wait, what is it? Empire Ants by Gorillaz. That's the time. I don't know why it's spacing my head right now. One of the best songs I've ever heard. And fucking there's one that Just the Two of Us.
Okay.
Just the Two of Us by Bill Withers.
Okay.
One of my favorite songs. Just those type of like comfy, like kind of 70s through 2010 songs. That's like fucking 40 years of music. That's really broad.
Like, okay, when you're 70s through 2010.
Yeah, I'm like super into music from like the 1900s on. Like, but like here and there, you know.
Like, I don't know, like 40 years, that's my frame. Oh my God.
Drake is like the best thing to happen since fucking sliced bread. I don't know, just those kind of nostalgia songs. I think a lot of your music preference is formed when you're a kid, along with a lot of other preferences.
Yeah.
I think I have this really soft spot for songs that were on the radio in the early 2000s for me, which apparently is different from the songs that were on the radio in the 2000s for the East Coast. Because
wait, what are some examples for you?
Every time I play "Kiss Me" by Sixpence None the Richer, everyone's like, "Who the fuck is Sixpence None the Richer?" And I'm like,
I don't know that.
I literally fucking. It's so hard for me to fathom that. But I know there's so many things that I'm probably missing as well. That there's obviously country songs. And then another example, you know the Goo Goo Dolls, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of it if there's any other good 2000s. I know Jewel, spelled the normal way, not like the nicotine product, was an artist that really encapsulates my youth a lot. And not many people know her, but she's great.
I don't think I know her.
She's like super underground. No, she's really great. Okay. If we had the ability to see when we would die.
Oh my God, my roommate and I were talking about this yesterday. Wait, finish it, sorry.
Would we? That's it.
First, I want to
know. Yeah, because here's why I was thinking about this. Because if I figured out that I'm gonna die in a month, I'm spending all my money. Like I'm spending all my money and I'm buying IMG eyeglass and I'm buying fucking Dior and I'm dying in Dior.
Okay, this is a good point. Um, I don't think I would want to know just because uh I don't know. I think I'm too stressed. I think I'd be too stressed to see how I would die. You know what I mean? Like I'd be like so scared that they like everything I do, but I know that like no matter what I'm gonna die. So like is it gonna be like a really I mean death I mean I guess it shouldn't be like a painful death because
What if we saw like, I guess we can adjust the question because I kind of thought about it as like you see the scene where you die, like you see what happens and kind of like your age.
I just thought of like a countdown.
No, 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 no.
Like a date.
I want to count down. I'm gonna rephrase the question to be like what I just said. Because if I could see the scene of when I die and like how old I am, I know I'm going to die in my 30s in a car crash already. So like it won't be a surprise to me. Like
Okay.
nothing I don't. I've had this feeling since I was a little kid that I'm gonna die in a car crash. I don't know. Do you have a feeling of like how you're gonna die?
No. I don't. Is
I'm
that
gonna,
all?
I'm gonna die as I live, taking the fattest bong rip of all time.
Probably does. I literally get scared. Like I'm like, wow, I could walk out of my dorm and like get hit, like a tree could fall on my fucking head and I could die.
I feel like I've just gotten to this point where I've really accepted it because I I'm already not to say that I'm doing much because I'm really not, but I feel like I already live like I'm dying just in this like kind of like survival state where
Mm.
it feels like I'm already like I think about the future, but it feels like I am not so attached to it, you know?
Oh
It's
my God, I'm literally starting to have an existential crisis.
I don't know. I've kind of accepted and found comfort in the idea that life will be over for me one day. Not in a way where I want to fucking kill myself, but in a way where I understand it and I don't really fear it. Not because it's not scary, but because I don't think I'm the type of person that like has so much to like give to the world that I need like 100 years. Like
Yeah,
I need to give to the world will be given by the time I'm like 35, you know?
yeah. I feel like my brain, like as much as I want to be like, oh, like when I die, and like I need to be like okay with that,
Yeah.
and like whatever happens afterwards, like I can't be scared of. But like, ugh, it's so scary. And it's scary to think that like every feeling that you've ever had, you're gonna not know of. And like I just kind of think of it like, oh, I'm gonna like be living like another life, maybe that that person is going to be or that thing, because reincarnation isn't just people, but like say I am reincarnated as another human, they're gonna get to feel these really cool feelings again, and I have to I have to appreciate life for what it is because you only have one.
Do you think you there's any emotion or like feeling that you haven't felt yet?
Yes.
Like what?
Like there's so much. I don't know. I mean, mm, I don't want to say love because I feel like that's cheesy, and I don't know if I really. I just don't know if I really have. I think in the moment I had thought I had, but I feel like there's a different type of love that I haven't felt,
There's there's different
and I feel like I haven't experienced.
not to get cheesy, but and no offense to our dear mutual friends who happen to be my exes, but I feel like there's this weird difference between like you the feeling of like your first love and then like the type of love that I have now.
Yeah.
it I just had this moment like a while ago where I realized where I was like, wow, I'm actually like really in love because it's this type of thing where you don't see an expiration date or you don't like have like it's just so much more scary and like
Mm,
big feeling than the first time I like thought I was in love, and I probably was in love for as well as I could be at that time. But
yeah.
that's I think you experience different types of loves at different times
Yeah.
in your life because
Of love when you need the different types of love also.
mhm. And
Like,
also, I think there's something to be said for like your hormones, like settling down after your teen years, and the type of love that you feel for like a romantic partner transforms more into like companionship and security
yeah,
than like spontaneity and like fun and security.
yeah,
Where you become like less accepting of others' flaws because you realize like you're more realistic with your love.
yeah.
Anyways,
Wow. Lovely. Wait, do you think there's any feelings that you haven't felt?
I was thinking about this because I have these moments sometimes where I have a lot of like feelings that I kind of like push out of my mind because I know if I dwell on them that it'll kind of like bog down my spirit.
Yeah.
I'll feel really blue, so I just kind of push them out of my mind. And I've had these moments where I'm like, I'm never going to feel like a happiness that I haven't felt before, you know?
Hmm.
Like nothing's going to be surprising past this point. Like I felt true despair, I feel like, and I have felt like true happiness and gratefulness, and just total euphoria. And I revel in those feelings in retrospect. Um, but I feel like there's no color I haven't seen. You know, there's no emotion that I feel like is going to surprise me.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that actually ties into a question that nobody asked, but I wrote down. And it's how do you know when love is real, platonic or romantic? Or familial, even.
Hmm. Ugh, I don't know.
Uh,
My
we could
brain
do a
can.
light question if you want, because this is,
What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think
Might help me.
my friend once told me that her mother knew she loved her father because he went to some sort of event and he didn't call her back. And instead of being mad, she was just worried. And I know that's like such a simple thing, but I think love is when you accept like the person and you accept like what they're up to and you know them well enough where you're only worried about their well-being. You know
Yeah.
well enough where it's not like you have control over them. They're not like property to you. You
Yeah.
know them where the only thing I care about is like whether you've eaten well and whether you've slept well and whether you've like done well. And I think that goes platonic like pretty easily. It's like for my friends, like their successes are my successes. Like I feel truly troubled when my friends feel troubled. And I think that's when you know your platonic like friendship love is real because
Yeah.
I want to cry when my friends cry.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel that with other people.
Yeah. Okay, that's a really good point. I think I agree with you on that. What was I gonna say? I forget. Uh, Whatever. You can keep going. I'll remember it.
I yeah, and I think there's a lot of different types of romantic loves, as I just said, but I think you know love is real when you not when you don't have any questions about it, but when you don't see another option, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, do I love this person? It's like, oh, like it's not do I love this person, it's like how do I like deal with the fact that I love this person? Like, how do I go about it?
I also think I was watching this YouTuber the other day, and she was just talking, like doing like a little like get ready with me, like ranting about whatever. And she was saying she was like, "Oh, like I'm literally like in love with like my friends. Like I love them so much." And I think like that was just like I don't know. It was really sweet to me because I was like, it's so like totally normal to be in love with your friends and it not be romantic. And I
Yeah.
feel like I've never like I feel like that maybe that's something basic that I just don't know, but like or
No,
that I haven't like
it's something you have to discover. And I think it's something that happens when you like filter through friends to find like as cheesy as it sounds, like real friends. Like you can have friends that you enjoy being around with and that you have a lot of fun with, but there
yeah,
are some friends that touch your spirit in a way.
yeah,
I think those are your friends that you kind of like who like are in love with, and certainly have a lot of friends that I like platonically love, of course, and I think that's very special and probably um I guess that's another thing is I think I tell Ben this all the time. I think marriage only works and like lifelong partners only work when you realize that you have to have a full platonic and a full like or you have to have a full platonic love in order to be in love with someone like,
Mm-hmm.
on top of that. In order to have romantic love, you also have to like see them as your best friend. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's weird that it's rare or that people think it's like extraordinary where they're like, I married my best friend. And it's like, of course you did. Like,
Yeah.
your like significant other should always be
Yeah, I agree.
your companion. That's your buddy. You're not going to always be romantically in love with them. You need to have that friendship love as well.
Oh, this is making me emo.
And that's how it works. And that's like why I still believe in the idea of like marriage working. Even from someone who like I did not grow up in like a married household by any means, but still definitely believe that that kind of like love and companionship exists as long as you know what you're in for. Um,
Oh, wow. This is wholesome. Hi. Podcast? Sir?
Hello?
Hello?
You want a feature, you're gonna have to fucking pay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you want to move on or did you remember what you were gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say the same thing about the friends thing, being in love with your friends.
You know, speaking of YouTubers, so this is like so off topic, but I've been watching a lot of Devin Lee Carlson vlogs.
I need to watch her vlogs.
You're not gonna glean anything from it. She's like, she's a very like sweet person, but she like doesn't really talk to the camera that much. She like doesn't really talk about what's up. She just is like, it's just nice to watch because it's like, oh, this is what it's like if you like succeed in this realm. You know, she's like, I'm going to the Saint Laurent show, and then she's like, I'm at the Saint Laurent show.
Oh my god.
You're beautiful. That's really cool for you.
No,
Your closet is fucking awesome. Those can really calm you down.
yeah, I'm just this girl. Her name's Keelan, and she's from Ireland, and she's so cool. And I just love like listening to her talk and like talk about everything. So, not sponsored.
That sounds kind of familiar.
I'll send you one of her videos.
Okay, do it.
We might recognize her or something.
I'm gonna like the riff a couple of YouTube recs while we're at it. Actually, first and foremost, I'm gonna give my full appreciation and recommendation of Mina Lee because she just did this video on the Queen's Gambit, which I just finished watching. I don't know if you watched it, but honestly, great show. I finished it in one day, fucking disgusting and gluttonous, but I did it, and I really liked it. I thought the costumes were really well done. Like the main character was just really fucking cool. It was just very easy to get. Like I wasn't even on my phone during it, you know. Like I actually was into it, and she did a video on the fashion in that show. I recommend everyone go watch it. I think it was really well done.
Yeah.
And then
Takara.
I think also I don't know, just watch more videos about fashion history, guys. Get it. I never want to see another flappers costume that has fucking tassels hanging off of it with a fucking feather in your hair. That is not what they wore. And what they wore was way fucking cooler. So don't rob yourself of the opportunity to wear some shit that's even fucking cooler. I never want to see another 90s 20s costume that doesn't have a drop waist. Like I just don't want to see it.
As you should.
And no, I'm just kidding. Like nobody I understand the like why would you be historically accurate with a Party City costume? It's just for fun.
Yeah.
But again, missed opportunity though. If you
Mhm.
want to dress up as someone from the 20s, look up more 20s fashion and you will find some really fucking cool shit to
Mhm.
dress up in.
Hell yeah.
Nobody ever wore those fucking flapper dresses.
Mhm.
Next question.
Sure.
Okay. Uh, communism question mark.
Um, I don't think I can dive into this one, but if you want to, take the reins.
I'll give a brief hot take, just because like my school environment has really given me this like a feeling, which is that like the modern communist, like how I've been told, like like people in our age group who identify with communism and like have that whole comrade aesthetic. It's disgusting. Here's why it's disgusting. Get something new. Get something new. It's like someone being a fucking neo-Nazi. It's like it's already been done. We saw exactly how it went and it fucking failed for obvious reasons.
Mhm.
Get a new aesthetic, try on some new goddamn clothes and have your own ideas. Because if you actually fucking read Marx, which I know no fucking self-proclaimed communist has, then you wouldn't be agreeing with him so much because we're
Mhm.
fucking racist.
Mhm.
And I know you bitches didn't read it, and I know it's controversial, and I know a lot of people don't like Ayn Rand, but again, if you just want a brief introduction into what communism is, like what the idea represents, a very simple way to get introduced to it is Anthem by Ayn Rand. She does it really well. That and just get a cooler aesthetic. It's like we can look at Venezuela, not Venezuela, fucking just look at communism throughout history, see how it has treated its people, realize that it's BS, and become a neo royalist. Just retire. That's my take.
Gotcha.
I
I
just think it's lame. I think it's lame, and I think anyone who says they want communism from their like East Coast, like one of their two houses, their parents make fucking 250K a year each. It's just, I know you don't want communism. You don't have to say you want communism because I know you can't even fucking share your Wii remote. Like,
yeah.
you're sharing anything beyond that. Like, you genuinely don't understand how it works, and it doesn't look good on paper either.
Mhm.
So,
Period.
next, um, feelings about the election.
I just want to know.
Nevada.
Wait.
Nevada.
Nevada.
So right now we're filming Thursday, November 5th, 2020. Pretty cool because that means we don't have the election results yet.
Mhm.
And every once in a while I kind of go on my computer and I'm like, what are the election results? And I
Like poll results. Tell me now.
tell me. And the fucking Nevada account going up by like 1,000 at a time. I'm like, is there literally one person in Nevada counting this shit? Like,
Oh
being like,
no, literally, I think there is.
I saw this. Cami showed me this TikTok of someone being like, they should have had strippers count their fucking ballots in,
I
and
just thought of
they'd be down in like 2 seconds, going like, "I got Biden. What you got?" Like, I thought that was, I thought that was very well put. How
yeah, I just, I feel like it's gonna be going on for like another week. So,
what are you predicting?
I mean, I think that I'm thinking slash hoping it'll be Biden, but I don't want to say anything yet because I don't want to jinx it. But I think that no matter what happens, there's gonna be like a million recounts because Trump's not gonna want to take the loss, and
I mean, yeah, there's some some controversy. I've been seeing a lot of mixed news. So I'm not everything I'm saying. I haven't certified whether it's fact or not. So don't fucking quote me, as if anybody ever would quote me. Um, but I've been seeing a lot of things where Trump is suing due to ballots being uh, like collected after election day. And I know in Georgia there's a law where election ballots, as long as they're marked before election day, can be counted up to 3 days after election day.
I've
That's
heard of that.
the other states, and I do think it's sus that in Wisconsin and Michigan, Joe Biden's numbers spiked and nobody else's numbers spiked. Nobody else. Like every single ballot that was counted all went to Joe Biden at once. Like not even one for anyone else. I
Hmm.
find that very weird.
Hmm.
Um, but if he could do the same thing in Nevada,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. But I also think there hasn't been a just election in quite a while, so
It's
don't I don't really care. I think I think it would be really really cool to see a tie, because then House decides and the House is Democrat, isn't it? It's
I don't know. I think a tie would be cool, but I don't want a tie this year.
I think it would be cool to have an election tie in a pandemic and like fucking Zoomer generation with 6 second attention spans who are all fucking depressed and
Hmm.
narcissists. I think that would be really cool because then this would be like um, this really big negative event that just keeps rolling into more chaos. That's inevitably gonna just lead to a clean slate,
Yeah.
or a new beginning, and that's what we
Mhm.
need.
Yeah.
Um, onward into the sun. That's what I say.
Huzzah.
Huzzah! Um, do you think there is election meddling on either side?
I feel like there's always election meddling. Like, I don't trust the fucking government. I don't trust anyone.
I never trust a politician. I'm really surprised when people do.
Any rich white man. So,
Yeah, and I never trust anyone who wants to become a politician because I think that's kind of a certain breed of narcissism where
mhm.
it's like, I don't know. It's like, you know, the trope that like nurses become, or your high school bully becomes a nurse, like that type of idea where people who really want to like hurt other people socially or like emotionally go into fields where they have like the most control possible. And politicians, it's just like this is power hungry. Like no good person wants this much power.
Yeah.
That's just not
I don't know how anyone can handle that.
right. Because ideally, you'd want a humble leader, like
Mhm.
George Washington. They literally wanted him to be fucking king, and he was like, "I gotta get out of here, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
Literally.
I literally gotta go."
He didn't want that shit.
And I also think I saw this tweet that was like, everyone's about to become like a fucking, everyone's about to act like they got a degree in the electoral college right now.
Mhm.
And that's very true. So I'm not acting like that. I'm learning as I'm going.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't politics. Are
Politics, but it kind of aligns with my idea that I don't want to have to think about politics. I think it's weird to endorse any politician wholeheartedly and like advocate for them and canvas for them when you're like a regular person, because that type of like, I don't know, it's like you don't, if you don't know them, that kind of like wholehearted advocating for them just kind of freaks me out. It's like I want politics to operate without me thinking about them. I don't want to have to like consider it, and I think that's what everybody wants. We want the water to be on. We want the fucking,
yeah,
we
but it's just like
want the roads to be smooth.
with how much politics dictates in our lives, we can't. This it can't happen like that.
Well,
And
I understand that. I'm not saying ignore politics right now. I wish we lived in a state where we could ignore politics because I think it's abnormal to like force your citizens into action like this. You know? You know what I mean? Where it's
oh yeah,
like right now, would you rather be worrying about politics Or would you rather have them work so well that it's like the last thing in your mind?
I guess I've never like even thought about ignoring politics because so
Well, yeah, and I haven't either. Like the reason I'm so involved in this and the reason I'm like checking my shit every 5 minutes is because it's at this point where it does not operate well enough to work on its own.
yeah.
Enough oiled machine, which is why I want it to tumble into the sun.
Never thought about politics being something that just works
Yeah.
because of how fucked up it is.
And there are examples of it working. I mean, and I think there's a lot of disrespect for the fucking founding fathers. They get a lot of hate when they were right. I think I don't know. I've got a lot of controversial takes on the election and like both leftists and right wingers. That I don't know. I don't know if anyone wants to fucking hear them.
Yeah, maybe we can get into it next pod.
Next pod.
Next pod, political pod.
Political pod. I'm going to talk.
Turn zing to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna roast the libs in the next one. No, whatever. I'm gonna skip to the next question. Right?
Okay.
What were your expectations of college, and what was the reality of it? We got a few college questions. Basically, just how is college?
Okay, I guess I'll start. For me, I was talking about this with my roommate the other day. I think it's so fucked up how college and the college experience is portrayed to everyone, and because of movies and media and everything, like I mean everything's obviously portrayed in this weird social norm kind of way. But like I got a gift from my childhood friend's mom when I was going to college, and she was like, she wrote me a letter and it was really sweet, but all of like, she's like, these are things to remember when you go to college. Never take a drink from someone else. Never walk home when you're drunk by yourself. Like all this like weird like shit about me being drunk, and I'm like, dude, like I know, and like thank you for reiterating this, but like why are you putting this thought into my head that this is what college is all about, is like getting fucked up all the time? And yeah, for some people it is, but for me, like I'm here to fucking learn and like obviously I'll have fun, but like I hate that this stigma and this norm of
the college culture is weird.
Yeah, it's so fucked. And I was like, some actual advice I can fucking use. Like, yes, I know not to take a fucking drink that's on the table. That, thank you. I know not to walk home drunk as shit by myself because, but, I don't know. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, even though I know the intentions were good. And I guess I'm being like kind of ungrateful saying that, but like, I don't know. I
get what you're saying. I didn't expect you to take this question in this direction, actually. I wanted to pull out a letter, because I got a similar letter, and I think it would be kind of like interesting.
I wish I had it on me. I would read it, but
let me see. I really think it would be, because this letter was such a like polar opposite of what your letter was.
Oh really? Well, yeah. I don't know. That's just my I don't know. I guess I kind of just. It's what I expected from college, but I know that I'm not the type of person to be taking part in all those things, so I don't know why I still expected that I would be experiencing that, which is like totally okay, but I think I just hate these normalized views and ideas of what college is for people.
Well, yeah, and there's quite a few bones I have to pick. I can't find this. I'm gonna pause it. I'm recording again. You know what I just thought of? I haven't told the listeners yet before I get into my next point. I ate a fucking pound of yogurt today. I can really explain it actually. I have this container that I got from Stop and Shop, and you see it, and it's like this
big.
No, it's not that big though. Like. I don't know, and I obviously am not sharing my food with anyone, so I just have been eating it alone.
Oh, you still have a lot left.
No, it's down to here.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this is a 2-pound container.
Oh.
So I fucking ate this much, and I was like, wow, I've eaten a lot. Like, I wonder how much yog's in here. I checked this shit. 2 fucking pounds of yolk in this jar.
That means you're 1 pound heavier of just yogurt.
I'm literally, this is my, I was really about to like lift up my shirt and be like, this is my fucking yogi stomach right now. This
Boy,
is your body after 1 pound of yogurt. I'm like,
you're just oozing yogurt from all your pores.
I know. I like, I start crying and like yogurt streams out. But that reminded me of my Chobani days because I haven't had a key lime crunch
Yeah.
sent to me. Yeah. My college expectations versus reality is basically I had like this derangement, like this. I was so disillusioned because I literally thought that like in March when I got my my responses from my colleges, I was choosing between these two colleges that gave me around the same amount of money. And by the way, I made the wrong choice. And I was like, oh, like, I COVID had just gone to the point where we were into lockdown. It was like 2 weeks into lockdown, and I'm making this decision that's like going to decide where I'm going to be for the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And still, it didn't like the actual gravity of the situation just was not there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still was thinking about college as if it was going to be normal, and I
Yeah.
thinking about ideas as if like COVID's going to clear up before them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
Like I don't know. And my expectations of it were just basically being interested in every single class that I was taking. And the reality is that my college sucks. But next semester I'm taking classes that I am all actually interested.
Yay.
I'm Italian Renaissance class. Nobody's gonna be able to stand me after that one.
Hey, should be talking about Italian Renaissance shit. It means fun.
But like this semester, I was just taking a lot of classes that, like, I'm only taking one architecture class this semester, and it's like so great, and I love it so much. But it's just like I expected it to be like I would like every class, and that every class would, like feel important, and that's not the case. And I expected people to come up to me and talk to me, which has happened a few times, but it's like
Hey, yo, it's hard.
I've never had gone to a party here, obviously, because COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just I'm not even like taking it in as if it's a first year of college. Like we really got the brunt of it, like our senior year, our first year of college, which I keep hearing are like such great years. I feel like they really
Yeah.
we got robbed. So my expectations were that it wouldn't be shitty. My reality, it's pretty shitty, but I'm doing fine, honestly.
Yeah.
I guess it's whatever, like you get what you deserve.
Yeah.
If I had worked harder in high school, maybe I'd be in like a college environment that I'd thrive more in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Next question. Takes on milk, parentheses, the drink.
Negative 12 out of 10. If you drink milk, you're weird.
Yeah.
Sorry, love, but I hate milk. I also like almond and oat milk, so does that count? Okay. Hi, almond milk.
I'm a milky girl.
Almond milk is good.
I put almond milk in my coffee. I also I need to spend as much money as I can at my like campus store before Thanksgiving, because then I lose all the money I have for my campus store. So I just like buy really expensive things to like take up my meal dollars.
Okay.
Really treating myself and having like one of those juice boxes of almond milk in my coffee every day. Living like royalty. My opinions are milk. I love it. I grew up drinking it a lot. Like I think it tastes good. All dairy products. If someone was like, you have to like quit drinking milk and eating dairy products, I'd be very sad. I'd be able to do it, but I'd be very sad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't care what anybody else does. Oat milk, fire. Nut milks, fucking fire. That's it. That's our takes.
Yay.
Okay, we're getting to the end.
Okay.
Is there anyone who's changed your life but didn't know it?
Let me think.
I'm thinking too. I haven't thought about this one. Miss Damiani. Oh wait.
Okay.
Um, I I guess I mean
There's a lot of them.
there's a few. I like wait. I feel like I could say a few like music artists and shit like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Elliott Smith.
I guess I would say okay, you want to hear my corny ass answer?
Bridgers.
I'll say Rick Riordan. Here's why. Rick Riordan wrote the Percy Jackson series, and when I was a kid, not only did I eat that shit up like candy, but I remember I was into architecture as a kid. I had curly hair, and I was scared of spiders, and I really identified with the character Annabeth.
Mm-hmm.
Percy Jackson made me like feel good about the fact that I had like this like academic interest when my environment wasn't really like
Mm-hmm.
encouraging for pursuing like higher education. Like it's encouraging, but it's very different from what the East Coast is like. And I feel like that really helped me kind of like pursue things and still like want that for myself.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me maintain that. And it also like made reading feel like eating candy to me as a kid.
Yeah.
Rick Riordan, because
Thanks, Rick.
I wouldn't be as brilliant and charming.
Smart and beautiful.
True. What do you think is your strongest characteristic? Oh wait, do you have anyone in specific you want to name for this?
I mean, I would just say like Elliott Smith or something because
Oh yeah, true.
like music.
Come to my. No, he didn't.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Oh yeah, I know he didn't.
Anyways.
Bleep bleep.
Bleep. Yeah, Elliot. Bleep. Did you know?
Mm-hmm.
So Elliot Smith, and then our next question is, what do you think is your strongest characteristic?
Whew.
You want to hit us with that?
Um. I don't know. Hard working. I don't know.
She's humble. She's
I
humble.
work hard for things I care about, I guess.
You do work really hard. I was telling Kate this the other day. Kate's such a hard worker. I used to work with her. She's on her shit. I have hope. You guys are very similar. You're both very hard workers. I miss Hope. I've been thinking about her.
Me too. I saw her stories like every day. Shut up, Hope! Anyway. Okay, you go.
Also, I got my little pins, and Hope ordered one.
I want to order one.
I'll send you one.
I want to order it though.
Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone.
Please.
Buy the pins, bitches.
It's like the fact that Hope ordered one. I was like, I'm literally gonna throw 6 in there.
Yeah. What's
my strongest character? Did you say? My independence.
Yes.
That's it.
That's a good one.
I've always been able to do. I think it was very adaptive. Like as a kid, being like socially rejected made me independent, but then it wrapped around enough where it was like, now the people who rejected me when I was a kid DM me on Instagram.
A
Wow, it's really come full circle, huh?
mhm.
And last question, do you think personality quizzes can be accurate? And which one do you identify most with?
like like the
Like
Myers.
any.
I think the good ones, like the Myers Briggs or whatever it's called, it's good. And I think the love languages one is good too.
Mhm.
And
I'm fluent in all of them.
Enneagram one. And
Yeah, what's your Enneagram?
I don't know.
You want, wait, how long does it take to take? Sorry. What if we paused, took it, and then came back? Because I actually want to know.
Um,
That's so long. Okay, yeah.
I'll do it for next pod, or we can talk about them like next pod or something.
Yeah, let's take,
I remember trying to take it one night and it was like so long. I was like, I can't do this right now.
do you want to do like a bunch of personality quizzes?
Yeah,
Like write down our answers.
yeah, that'd be fun.
I love personality quizzes because it's like astrology for me where I don't wholeheartedly believe it, but I love like having something to think about.
Yeah,
Uh, so like
I think it's cool.
when a test tells me that I do something, I'm like, no, I don't, but I don't. So that's cool to know, I guess.
Yeah,
I think they can be accurate, but it's rare that I have the feeling that they are.
yeah.
Because answers, like, especially the political compass test. Mm-mm.
What's that one?
You know that, like,
Are you following the oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know.
have you ever taken it?
I think I did. I can't remember what I got or where I was, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's so inaccurate. I took it recently, and not gonna say what I got, but because it's inaccurate. Reading the questions, it was like very broad. I don't think you can get a political read on someone unless it's like a social political, like
mm,
people perceive you like based on your tweets. Like that's what this quiz will be. Um, but other than that, I think that's
cool.
uh,
Oh, I'm tired, but that was good.
we're gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
Questions.
Have you up at 6 a.m.
Bye, guys.
Bye.